My name is Hira. I was 20 years old when I left my home for the first time. I still remember that morning. The sky was pale blue, and everything felt possible. There was a soft breeze, and it carried the smell of home with it, as if trying to hold me back for just a little longer. I believed I was stepping into a better future. I believed that everything I had dreamed about was finally within reach. But I didn't know I was walking into a place filled with silence, fear, and secrets no one dared to speak about. Before I tell you what happened, tell me something. Where are you listening from right now? And what time is it for you? Write it in the comments. And if stories like this stay with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. I came from a small town, a place where people didn't lock their doors at night, where neighbors knew your name, your parents, and your story, where evenings were quiet and safe, and nights felt like a blanket of peace instead of fear. Life was simple, safe, predictable. And maybe that's why I never learned how to recognize danger when it came quietly. When I got admission into a college in the city, everything changed. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where I would finally become someone. My parents were proud. My father hugged me tightly and said, "This is your chance. Make your future." His voice was strong, but I could feel the weight behind it. It wasn't just hope, it was sacrifice. My mother held my face and told me to take care of myself. Her hands were warm, but her eyes were worried, as if she felt something I couldn't. I smiled. I told them I would be fine. I told them not to worry. But deep down, I didn't know what I was stepping into. I was excited. A new city, a new life, new dreams. Everything felt like it was finally beginning. The hostel looked perfect from the outside. There was a tall gate, a security guard, and strict rules. The building stood strong, almost like it was protecting something. At that time, I thought it was protecting us. Everything felt safe. Or at least, it looked safe. The first few days were beautiful. I made friends. We studied together. We laughed together. We shared stories about our homes, our dreams, and the lives we wanted to build. Sometimes, we sat by the window, watching city lights and dreaming about our future. The lights felt magical. Like every single one of them was a possibility waiting for us. I thought this is freedom. I thought this is what growing up feels like. But freedom can hide things that don't show themselves immediately. The hostel had two faces, one during the day and one at night. During the day, everything looked normal. Girls going to classes, laughing in groups, talking on phones, living their lives. But at night, something changed. It was subtle at first, so subtle that you could almost ignore it. I heard whispers. They were low and unclear, like voices trying to stay hidden. At first, I thought it was just girls talking. But then the tone changed. Then they became heavier, slower, something painful, something that didn't belong to normal conversations. My heart started racing. I hid under my blanket, but the sounds didn't stop. It felt like the walls themselves were carrying those voices. The next morning, everything looked normal, too normal. As if nothing had happened, as if the night had erased itself. That's when I knew this place didn't just hide secrets, it protected them. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure grew. Not loudly, not suddenly, but slowly, like something tightening around you without you noticing. I started noticing more. Doors opening at night, footsteps in the hallway, slow, careful footsteps, as if someone didn't want to be heard, eyes watching, not directly, but you could feel them. That uncomfortable feeling when you know someone is looking at you, even if you can't see them. I stopped sleeping properly. Every small sound felt louder. Every shadow felt deeper. Even during the day, I felt trapped, like I couldn't fully breathe, like something invisible was always around me. The girls were not the same anymore. At first, I thought maybe they were just tired. But it was more than that. Their faces looked empty. Their smiles felt forced. Their laughter didn't reach their eyes. Some of them avoided eye contact completely. Some of them stayed silent for hours. And some of them looked like they wanted to say something but couldn't. Something in that place was breaking people. Slowly, quietly, and no one was stopping it. One night there was a knock. It was slow and controlled, not like someone asking for help, but like someone who already had control. Areiba stood up immediately, as if she was expecting it. That scared me more than the knock itself. She opened the door slightly. A senior stood outside. Her face was calm, too calm. Her eyes locked on me. It felt like she had already chosen me. She said, "You, come with us tonight." I felt my chest tighten. My mind went blank for a moment. I said, "I don't understand." But I already knew this wasn't something normal. She smiled and said, "You will." That smile had no warmth in it. It felt like a warning. Areiba held my hand and told me to just come and not make it difficult. Her grip was tight, almost desperate, as if she wanted to help me, but didn't know how. But something inside me refused. Something deep inside me said, "This is wrong." I said no. The room went silent. The kind of silence that makes everything feel heavier. The senior stepped closer and said, "If you don't cooperate, life won't be easy here." My eyes filled with tears. I said, "I just want to study." I said it like it was the only truth I had left. She laughed softly and said, "Everyone says that at first." Then she left, but the fear didn't leave with her. That night I cried silently, not loudly, not in a way anyone could hear, just quietly, like I was trying not to exist. Everything inside me was breaking, every belief, every hope, every sense of safety. I realized this wasn't random. It was organized. It was controlled. Everyone knew, and no one spoke. That silence was not natural. It was forced. That night I made a decision. A small decision, but the most important one of my life. I would not stay silent, even if I was scared, even if I didn't know what would happen. I started writing everything. Every whisper, every fear, every truth, every detail I could remember. It became the only way I could hold on to reality, because everything else felt like a lie. One day, a girl collapsed. It happened suddenly, right in front of everyone. But no one reacted, no one screamed, no one ran to help. They just stood there, as if it was normal, as if it had happened before. That silence was louder than anything I had ever heard. That was my breaking point. That was the moment I knew I couldn't stay there any longer. When my father came, I gave him the notebook. My hands were shaking. My voice was barely there. I told him, "Please take me away." I didn't explain everything. I didn't need to. He didn't ask questions. He just looked at me and understood. A father always knows when something is wrong. That evening I left that place for the last time. I didn't look back. I didn't say goodbye. I just walked out. But some places never leave you, even when you escape them. They stay in your memories, in your fears, in your silence. So, if you ever feel something is wrong, trust your instinct. Even if no one else believes you, even if everyone else stays quiet, speak up, seek help, because silence only protects the darkness. And sometimes breaking that silence is the only way to survive. If this story stayed with you, like, comment and subscribe our Pro English Stories channel for more stories that matter.